So, Pete, I will start with you, because I know we're both of you guys on that end of the stand when it comes to Bryce Young. Should he be traded still, despite, maybe seeing a little bit of improvement against the Saints?
He showed a little bit of improvement last week, but what are you going to trade for? What are you going to get for him?
The market's already been set.
Roast beef sandwich?
No.
Turkey sandwich?
No.
Turkey on rye?
It's a fourth-round pick. That's
a hamburger?
what the Cowboys
cheeseburger?
did.
Are you giving up a fourth-round pick for Bryce Young?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
Who? What team?
Any team that needs a quarterback. But knowing what the draft class is coming out, there's not any for sure fire. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels coming out in this year's draft class.
Oh, we know who isn't a surefire thing. The 5'9", 180-pound guy who can't see over the
you're
line of
underestimating the kid. Give him an opportunity to breathe, to get a chance to get in there. He played much better last week. He's played better the last 2 weeks than he ever has. He's got a good coach. But if I were a team looking for a quarterback, a la Las Vegas Raiders, to me, the perfect fit is the Miami Dolphins because of Tua and his concussion protocol.
So as a
I think
backup.
he would be great in that system.
So as a backup quarterback?
Yeah, but you don't know how long Tua is going to play.
So you're going to give up a fourth-round pick for a backup quarterback?
Yes.
Okay.
In a heartbeat.
And if you're the Raiders, no, I'm not making a deal for him because I'm going to get my quarterback in the draft.
How do you know where you're going? There's only 2 first-round quarterbacks, in my opinion, coming out, and they may be both gone.
They are pretty bad, the Raiders, so he might be drafted first.
I'm not giving up on Bryce Young yet.
I'm sorry, Kyle. Me and him get on
I get it. I can listen to this all day.
We just had our popcorn out on this side of the desk.
I'm not quite giving up on Bryce Young yet. I like the coach they have in Carolina. He's on a rookie deal. There's no sense in dealing him. You're not going to get what you want for him in terms of compensation. Keep him in-house. Let him get incrementally better. And then if something else comes along down the road, you sign that guy up to be your starter.
Is Bryce Young ever the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, he is next week.
Not replacing an injured guy that took his job. Not replacing an injured guy that took his job, but as
the other guy that took his job was worse. He had one big boom game, and after that, he's been.
Look, I would have never sat down Bryce Young, to be honest with you, because I'd want to find out what it is.
You want to play everyone. You think all rookies should play.
Find out what they are.
You're totally
wrong. Find out what they are.
All right. Well, Pete, you have always said you wanted to be a GM, or you should be a GM, I should say. So we want you to have your player team fits, names that are still out there, teams that still have needs, contenders that want to make a push.
This was before the show, by the way. The Commanders and Marshawn Lattimore.
Well, look at that. You predicted the future.
Look, I think the Lions made a really good deal to go get Zadarius Smith, but now go make another one. Get me another pass rusher, because Zadarius Smith isn't replacing Aiden Hutchinson. He's just not. He's a good player. That guy's a great player. So go get another one. Go get Arden Key. Arden Key's available. The Titans are in sell mode. Go make a deal. Give up a 6th-round pick, a 5th-round pick. Go get Arden Key. All of a sudden, your defensive line is really capable of getting after the quarterback. The Lions would be the favorite. They might be anyways, but they would certainly be the favorite if they get Arden Key.
I thought that Aaron Glenn has done a phenomenal job since they lost Hutchinson. The way he's been generating pressure differently, he's bringing more packages than when they had Aiden Hutchinson. He'd have to do that. But by adding a Zadarius Smith, they're going to go back to kind of, I'm not saying he's Aiden Hutchinson, but he has 5 sacks this year.
He can win.
He can win. He can get on. But the one thing he does, he can play the run too. So I thought maybe they would look at Ojulari at the New York Giants, who I thought, Browning, who ended up going to Arizona, which I thought was a great trade for Arizona, the way they're playing. But they don't play the run the same way Zadarius Smith does. So this
What about Arden Key? Go get Arden Key.
Arden Key, yeah, but I don't want to trade away the farm either.
No, but a 6th-round pick? I mean, you can get him for 6. You wouldn't do that. All of a sudden, your front has got equal guys on either side going up.
It's what had to be done in Detroit. We know that Aaron Glenn has been doing a fantastic job with that defense.
I'm just going to say,
they don't have winners.
He may be the next New Orleans Saints head coach.
Yeah, well, he
former player there, a guy who knows that town really well. But look, to your point, 1 is good, 2 defensive linemen's better. With Aaron Glenn's pressure package, as an O-lineman in the blitz meeting, I'm worried about where's the nickel, where's the safety, is that corner capped? Now you get Zadarius Smith in. I'm worried about which side we're sliding to. You bring another defensive lineman in, now you got 2 guys.
I will be with you alongside a lot of other gentlemen for the next hour. We have a lot going on a Tuesday. Of course, we have the election, which I'm sure you've heard about a multitude of times. We also have the first 12-team CFP rankings that are going to drop a little bit later tonight. And your NFL team might look a little bit different by the end of the day because the NFL trade deadline today at 4 p.m. Eastern. We've already seen some moves out there. The Lions getting some pass rush help from Zadarius Smith, and we're expecting some more names to be on the move. So for that, we do want to bring in our lead NFL insider, Jonathan Jones, who is a very busy guy on the phone connecting with sources all day today. JJ, right here at the top of the hour, just hit us with an update. Anything else that you're hearing, expectations, the whole thing?
Yeah, so was about to press send on a tweet. The Commanders are emerging as a real contender for Saints cornerback Marshawn Lattimore. And so I know that we have had a lot of discussion around the Kansas City Chiefs and Marshawn Lattimore. There's been some other teams out there, but the Commanders are a team to certainly look for. What would it take for any team to acquire Marshawn Lattimore? We're talking about a day 2 pick for the Pro Bowl cornerback. And so is that a 3rd round pick? I'll tell you what, if it were a 2nd round pick, that would probably mean that the deal would have already gotten done by now. So we're talking about a day 2 pick for Marshawn Lattimore. It does appear right now there's still 4 hours to go before the trade deadline. We've had crazy trade deadlines. I've been surprised before. I'll be surprised again. Is it possible he is not moved? Sure. But right now there's a lot of momentum that Marshawn Lattimore will be moved, and keep a very close eye on the Washington Commanders, who are feeling very good about their lot in life, feeling very good about their place and standing in the NFL with their Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate, Jaden Daniels, with a defense that is performing well and anchored by Bobby Wagner, a future first ballot Hall.
All right, and we do have some technical difficulties with JJ right now, but we certainly appreciate JJ's time, giving us some breaking news before he puts it out on X. And I'm actually joined by Kyle Long, Rick Spielman, and Pete Prisco, trying to do a little walk and talk and multitask there.
Wow. Nicely done.
Yeah, thank you guys. Let's talk about that news, because Pete, I think you just spoke that into existence, because right before the show went on, we were talking about Marshawn Lattimore, what's the chances that he gets moved with the cap hit, all of that, and then JJ just telling us that the Commanders are seriously in the market for him. What do you make of that if he does go there?
Well, and we talked about it this morning on the podcast. I said Lattimore to the Commanders would make all the sense in the world. And the problem is, how do you figure out the cap ramifications if you're the Saints? He's got a big cap number in terms of bonus money that would, and they're in cap hell, and they will be in cap hell for a long time. So how do you work that out? You've dealt with those kind of situations. If you want the player bad enough, you can make it work.
Yeah, and what you'll try to do is figure out a way to maybe take some of that relief so the Saints don't get all that acceleration into their cap. If they're able to come up with that, it's not going to be an issue from a cash standpoint, because their owner, Josh Harris, has plenty of that. So if they do want this player, which I think would be a great addition, everybody's surprised at how probably the Commanders have been playing this year, especially the way they've played the last 3 weeks on the defensive side of the ball. Adding a Lattimore, they got Sanders still, who was a rookie 2nd-round pick out of Michigan, but I think he's purely a slot.
And he's playing outside.
Corner. Right. And St. Juice is the other one. So if they can add a Lattimore to this talented defense already, which no one saw coming, that I think they are going to be in the lead for the NFC East and get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it works perfectly for their team as well, because with Jaden Daniels in that offense, they're going to score points. We saw it last week. The Bears had to throw the ball the whole 4th quarter. That's what teams are going to be looking to do against the Commanders. Add some coverage pieces, some real vets back there, and you're looking at a dangerous group.
3rd round pick probably for it, I think. I think that's what you might give up.
A lot of times when you're dealing with this, you may take on a lesser pick, 3rd, that maybe moves to a 2nd. If we're say, hey, we'll do it for a 3rd because we're willing to take on some of that cap hit.
Okay, it's something we're going to be keeping our eye on all throughout the day as the clock is ticking down to that NFL trade deadline. Gentlemen, let's keep it in the NFC East, because we're talking about the Cowboys. Jerry Jones saying we'll probably do a couple of things this week. This whole week has just been a disaster for their season, between Dak likely heading to the IR, CeeDee Lamb, all the things. Micah Parsons is already hurt. Rick, when you hear that from Jerry Jones, I mean, so many people are thinking, okay, yeah, right, we've heard this before. We've heard you're all in, whatever. What are you thinking when you're hearing Jerry Jones saying, we'll probably make some moves?
Well, trading for what they gave away for Jonathan Mingo,
Makes no sense.
that makes no sense whatsoever because Mingo has been a bust. He was a second-round pick with Carolina the year Bryce Young came out. He's been a bust to date. I don't know how that's going to help. The other thing, I always thought they should go after a running back because with Cooper Rush coming in now as the starting quarterback, when last time he was 5-1 when he was a starter. And when he was a starter, Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard were rolling. They don't have that same type of run game. So you don't expect Cooper Rush to come in and throw the ball 40, 50 times a game and win games. Even with Mingo, who he got beat out by 2 rookies, and one of the rookies, Coker, is a college free agent. So they must have went back to what they saw when he came out of college. But I think he has inconsistent hands. He's that runs faster on the clock than he does the way he plays. So more of a possession guy. So I don't know why they made this move. I would have really honed in on trying to get a running back, especially knowing that Cooper Rush is going to be your quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know why the hell they made this move. I mean, you look at their roster, and the only thing that they do well is have Dak Prescott throw to CeeDee Lamb. Well, Dak Prescott's not there. CeeDee Lamb is banged up. There's not another weapon, so maybe they're thinking we go get another weapon, but Mingo hasn't done anything. Yeah. And a 4th-round pick for a guy who's been basically a bust, it makes no sense whatsoever. Go get a running back. Maybe get somebody to juice up the run game a little bit. The Cowboys are a mess right now. They're sloppy. They have bad play calling. They don't do anything right. And I said it a week ago. What did I say a week ago? They would be burnt like your turkey at Thanksgiving by Thanksgiving. They're done.
It looks like they're
over.
A whole lot
and it becomes a question now is, do they fire Mike McCarthy and fire that staff going forward?
Well, they're coming out of the last year of their contract anyway.
But
so
do you fire him during the season?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Who are you going to have? You're going to have
well, you get ahead of the curve, and maybe you get ahead.
You still can't hire anyone.
Well, you can get ahead of the.
Make the first phone call. Be the first phone call made.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't think people are looking behind the scenes right now and doing some research?
Washington did a lot of research.
Learn the game. Learn how it works in the front office.
And Bill Belichick has been linked to the Cowboys for a while. Is that an upgrade, or are you're out on Bill Belichick potentially going to the Cowboys?
Bill Belichick cannot be the head coach and general manager. Bill Belichick was fired because Bill Belichick, the general manager, got him fired. If he wants to come in and coach, I'm all for Bill Belichick, one of the great coaches ever, but you cannot be the general manager.
Checks and balances are hard to come by in the National Football League, especially if you got a guy who's a surefire Hall of Famer like Belichick. He wants to do it his way. So which one of these programs will say, hey, we have boundaries here, coach. You coach, we do the scouting and drafting.
I can guarantee you one thing, the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys will not get fired.
Yeah, it's Jerry Jones. Can you imagine those meetings? Bill Belichick coach and Jerry Jones general manager? Come on.
Yikes.
Doesn't work.
Excited Raiders fans, stay tuned because have news that could change the course. Of the team, there is talk of a possible big move to bring a new quarterback to Las Vegas, and this name might surprise you. Bryce Young, the first pick in the 2023 draft and current quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. The Reader situation at quarterback has not been ideal. Gardner Minshew and Aiden Okamwile, having had their opportunities, have failed to secure a solid future for the team. Minshew in particular has been inconsistent, committing turnovers at critical times, leading to questions about his long-term permanence with the team. Oka, meanwhile, has had few opportunities before getting injured, and while he showed some potential, he has not yet proven to be the answer the Raiders need. With this uncertainty, the idea of bringing in Brian arises while Young has had a rough start. In the NFL, he has shown signs of improvement and could be a long-term solution at quarterback for Las Vegas. Imagine the impact of having a young quarterback with so much potential who still has 2 years left on his rookie contract and could provide competition for any new talent that comes through the draft. Of course, this move is not without risk. The Panthers still see Young's potential and seem unwilling to let him go so easily, at least until next offseason. But for the Raiders, the possibility of bringing Young back would represent a golden opportunity to bolster the position and have a reliable option while building the team of the future. What do you think, Raider Nation? Would you like to see Bryce Young in a Raiders jersey, or would you rather wait to see what next year's draft brings. Leave your comments and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any updates. On your Raiders, see you in the next video, and as always, long live Raider Nation.